Hey Professor Barnes, this is Alexander Cantellis from the newspaper group, and I'm here to talk about the business and ownership of newspapers. There are several kinds of newspapers: national papers that have a broad amount of readers all around the country, and other papers that are only in specific regions. Other way newspapers are severely struggling nowadays due to our technological capabilities, which causes the revenue to decline. No matter what the papers serve, it always has its own approach and target readers to cope with our recent time. Remembering that there are national newspapers and the other specific ones means that their roles are opposite as well. In this case, the other specific papers that are non-daily promote social and economic balance in their country. This is called consensus-oriented journalism that involves carrying stories on their local schools, events, town government, crimes, and any problems within their zone. As for national newspapers, on the other hand, that involves more of a daily update. This involves conflict-oriented journalism, which is the front page news that's defined as an event, issue, or experience in which is diverted from social norms. Not everybody wants to read every newspaper. Considering that this is the United States, and which is an international country, there has to be papers that target people of other cultures and languages. They call these the minority newspapers. This consists of African American, developed between 1827 and 1829, called the Freedom's Journal, and today inspired the New York's Amsterdam News. Then there's Spanish language, which is growing fast and is vital to marketing and publicity campaigns. After comes Asian American with the World Journal and has been serving Chinese immigrants nationwide. Last but surely not least is Native American, that began in 1828 with Cherokee Phoenix. There also exists the underground press, based by socialists that were intellectuals from the 1930s and 40s. Important names like Dorothy Day and I.F. Stone started this. During the mid-late 1960s, alternative papers boomed, meaning it challenged mainstream news. Specifically, the Village Voice made a difference as an alternative. Today, it still circulates around 225,000 newspapers. Now it comes down to how a newspaper functions. The most important thing is the news hole, which consists of 35 to 50% of actual news. The rest is for advertisement. The news hole keeps relatively shrinking the less newspapers are bought. The newsroom staff is responsible for what's on the newspapers. There are 5 positions in the staff: the publisher and owner, editors, reporters, photographers, and copy editors. The 2 most important things that bring material to the companies are first the wire services, national and foreign agencies. Second are the feature syndicates, commercial outlets, and provide work from other journalists and drawers. So they're both important sources of material. Maybe the whole world can't be covered, but a fair amount can. Economically, the newspapers aren't doing well at all. Due to a decline in readership, they can't manage to pay for ads as much either. The less readership, the more ads. In the end, less revenue, and this includes especially newspaper chains, causing to eliminate jobs or consolidating. This newspaper competency in cities is forced to a joint operation agreement, which involves no competency at all, and various newspaper companies joining together pretty much to sell their own product, but still having a joint operation agreement with each other. And this merges their whole business and production, and from this you can understand that newspaper nowadays is not doing well at all. So thanks to our digital age, we can just watch it on the internet nowadays. Thank you very much. This is Alexander Cantellis, and this was some information on newspapers today. Thank you.
Now that Alex has sent it off to me, I'm going to talk about the challenges facing newspapers today. The readership declined in the United States during the Great Depression and the rise of racial decline. Another crisis occurred in the late 1960s through 1970s with the rise in the network television. Women started working full-time, so the foundation of the newspaper started selling. While America suffers, other countries have experienced an increase in the newspaper. Going local, how small and campus papers retain readers. Newspaper business are not uniform across the industry. Small daily and community weeklies do better than many big city papers. small newspapers do better because they are not competing with other forms of mediums such as radio and television, because they get right to the story. Newspapers struggle in the move to digital. Faced with competition from the 24/7 news cycle on cable, newspapers responded by developing online versions of their papers. Online newspapers are taking advantage of what the internet offers because space is not an issue. Online newspapers allow readers to stream audio and video files. Newspapers are trying to establish paywall, which means they're like charging for online access, but they're actually not making any profit because no one's not going to pay for something that they can get for free. Newspapers are the blogs that challenge newspapers today. The rise of blogs in the late 1990s brought amateurs into the realm of professional journalism. Blogging becomes less journalistic view and more of a visible feature, which means everyone has their opinion and they're entitled to it. The new models for journalism include developing business ventures like online papers or having prestigious schools like Harvard or Yale that's supporting the newspaper that's helping them. The alternative voices. The combination of online news and traditional newsroom cutbacks has led to a new phenomenon known as citizen journalism, in which participants are not citizens. Citizen journalism refers to people, amateurs, and concerned citizens who use the internet and blogs to disseminate news and info. Now I'm going to talk about the newspaper and democracy. Newspapers have played the strongest role in sustaining democracy. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, there have been several murders, killed in combat, and dangerous assignments. And that'll be all today about the challenges that the newspapers face and newspapers in democracy.